we're always looking forward, aren't we? Always trying to figure out what the next big piece of content is, where the next viral video is going to come from. We're always trying to think about what comes next, what's our strategy for 2025. Very rarely do we take a moment to look back at where we've come from. Now, I think the ideal situation to be in, right, is that you're present, you exist in the moment, rather than living in the past or the future. You kind of enjoy where you are right now. But I think there is some benefit to looking back. You know, all these people, that almost everyone, is a series of happy accidents. There was a series of things that happened that resulted in their success. I'm not talking about luck here, because I know for all of these people, hard work went into it. I know they put a lot into it, they put a lot of hours, they had consistency, they had really good foundations, and they built a community, and they were successful. But there's going to be lots of things that happened in there that they would only have realised looking backwards. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. You can't connect them going forwards, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what opportunities are going to be presented. And obviously you need to be in a position where if and when an opportunity is presented, you're in the best possible position to take advantage of that. And that's all about what you're doing in the moment, what content you're producing, what your strategy is, all of those things. But all of these people who are given advice, and a lot of it is really great advice, is all based on them retroactively looking back and going, these are the things that I did that resulted in X, Y, and Z. Very rarely are they looking forward doing that. And then I think content creators like myself, where, small creator, trying to push forward, trying to create content that's impactful, trying to build a bigger community, trying to get their content in front of more people, trying to create stuff that is authentic, like I know lots of you are. You feel like you're in the trenches. And when you push a video out there and it doesn't get views, or you create a piece of content that falls flat, or you see other content creators that you think are less worthy getting opportunities, or other content creators with smaller numbers getting opportunities, you feel under a barrage of kind of stress and anxiety, and your internal monologue's going crazy saying, are you worthy? Should you get this? Should you deserve this? Are you good enough to achieve what you want to achieve? All of these things and all of these stories you tell yourself in your head. And at no point do you take the opportunity, like some of these bigger content creators did, to look back and analyse where you've come from. Now, it's all relative, right? But I did this the other day. I just hit 25,000 followers on TikTok. Now, in my head, I'll be really honest with you, in my head 25,000 is, although it's an achievement, I'm like, okay, the big goal for me was 10,000. In my head, the next big goal was 100,000. And that's a big leap. But I'm just trying to be authentic with you and transparent with you to go that 25K, although it's nice to hit that, doesn't feel like a milestone to me. And recently my videos on TikTok have just been plodding along, really. I've had a couple jump into thousands of views, but lots of sub 1,000 view videos. And then randomly, one that does 400,000 views, so it does feel random. I haven't quite cracked the code yet, but there were stages on TikTok where I was consistently doing videos, every video was like in the tens of thousands of views just consistently. And I thought I nailed it, and that kind of dropped off. And it's a difficult time because I'm trying to do this full time, and my videos haven't been hitting the numbers that I wanted them to hit. And then I hit 25K and I was like, it doesn't feel like a milestone. I'm going to celebrate it anyway, but it doesn't feel like a milestone. But where did I come from? It feels like it was years and years and years ago that I was trying to get to 10K. But the reality is, it was only a year ago, almost to the day, I was on just over 6,000 followers on TikTok. So over the last year, I've added almost 20,000 people to my community. When I went back and looked at that, I thought, well, what's the cumulative effect of my content? Like, what's my impact of my content been? And when I looked at it, almost 4 million people have viewed my content over the past year. That I can't imagine 4 million people. I can't imagine really 25,000 people standing in front of me, which is the number of followers I have. I can't even begin to imagine what 4 million people consuming things that I've created looks like. So although, you know, these videos are only getting small views, cumulatively my content has been really impactful. And actually, one of the positives about having, you know, a smaller number of views on there is that it's pushed me towards other platforms. Like YouTube, for example, this stuff that you're seeing on here, I wish I'd have started this from the very beginning. When I first started creating content, I wish I'd have taken YouTube more seriously. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just thought of it in terms of like TikTok was the biggest opportunity in terms of growth. But YouTube has been so rewarding for me. I've had, you know, videos do well on here relative to my size and relative to my usual views. And what's interesting to me is that on YouTube, if I get 1,000 views, I'm like, wow, what a great video, what a great indication of the quality of this. Whereas on TikTok, if I get 1,000 views, I just don't even care about it. I don't even look at it. It makes no difference to me. 1,000 views on TikTok, it's meaningless to me. Whereas YouTube feels like it's much more of a reward when you hit that. With YouTube, it feels much more like when you're hitting those views, it's because your content is worthy of it. Whereas TikTok, it feels a little bit more random. You know, low quality stuff can not low quality, but you know, random stuff can go viral on TikTok. And when I talk about YouTube, I'm talking about long form content. So I just want you guys to take a moment, whether you're on, you know, whatever platform you're focusing on, whatever your goal is, whether it's views or subscribers or followers, whatever that is, I just want you to take a moment to look back over the past year. Look at your analytics for the past year and look at the cumulative effect of your content and ask yourself whether you think, if you were to look at that from the eyes of another creator, whether you think that would be a good thing, whether you think that would be successful or not. Because I think you'll be surprised by how much of an impact you've had. And every single view you've had, every single subscriber you've had is someone that's been impacted by your content. It is a difficult game, this is. Because when you're doing anything creative, you are really vulnerable. You're really putting yourself out there and saying, you know, this is who I am. You're putting your face on stuff, you're putting your voice on stuff, you're putting your opinions out there. And the internet is rife with people with opinions. The internet is rife with people who will come on and say who you look like, what you look like, who you remind them of, who you don't remind them of, that your content's shit, that it's clickbait, that it's this, that it's that. There's so many opinions out there, but I think the question is, are you proud of what you do? Are you filled with joy when you're creating? Regardless of your views, how many views you've got, regardless of how many subscribers you've got, does what you're creating fill you with joy? Are you proud of what it is that you're producing? Because if the answer to those questions is no, you've really got to question why it is what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. So when I look back over the year, it reminded me that when I started this, I knew I couldn't be thinking in days and weeks and months. I can't even really be thinking in terms of what does the last year look like, although it's been very successful for me. I need to be thinking in terms of like decades. I need to be thinking in terms of, you know, what do I want to be as a creator? What do I want to produce? What impact do I want to have? This is not about whether tomorrow I get a viral video, although I welcome that. This is about what can I achieve over the coming years? What impact can I have on the industry, on people, on my community? What impact can I have on them over the coming years? I'm really proud of what I've done over the past year. And it's almost a year since I lost my job, and that kind of brought into question my whole identity of who I was. I was a big fish in a small pond, and now I'm a small fish in a fucking giant ocean. And I'm trying to figure out who I am again. I had so much confidence and bravado as a chief marketing officer that was earning a big wage and drove around in a nice car and managed a big team of people. You know, there was a confidence that came with that. And it was an earned confidence. I'd done my job for a long time. I knew a lot about what it is that I was doing, but suddenly I've always almost like retraining again. It's like this career that I built over the past 15 years. It doesn't mean shit to someone who's like, you know, can I promote your game? Can I promote your product? Can I create a video for you? Can I do some editing for you? Can I create a trailer for you? It doesn't mean anything to the people that I'm saying that to, because they're like, I don't care whether you were a chief marketing officer that did campaigns for huge companies. I care like, what does your portfolio look like as an editor? I care about like what brands you've worked with. I care about, you know, how many people can you impact and influence? So it's been a real challenge for me this year to like rediscover who I am. And I've said this a few times, but I was so unhappy in my last job, so unhappy, that I didn't really know like what it is I was going to do. I was even losing confidence in that job. You know, the environment I was in, the people that I was around really made me question who I was as a person. And then going into this where it was like, you're learning all this from scratch. You're teaching yourself a whole new thing from the beginning. You've got no creds, you've got no privilege really, you got no foundation to work off, and you're going to give this a go full time. And there's people out there going, don't do this, it's just crazy, this is stupid. And I did it anyway. And I've learned so much over the past year or so. I think I've become a good editor. I think I've become a good videographer. I think I've become a good creator. I've become a consistent creative. You know, I'm producing stuff every single day. I'm really proud of some of the pieces that I've produced this year. And this vlog, you know, I did a little vlog for my subscribers over on Ko-fi that isn't getting published, but just was for them. And I talked a little bit about that when I do these videos, I'm never looking for sympathy. This is not, you know, I'm not applying for X Factor here. I'm not going to tell you that my dead nan told me on her deathbed that what she wanted me to do was make YouTube videos. But these vlogs, it's a vulnerable space for me because I'm trying to be really open about how I'm feeling. And I think sometimes that can come across as like I'm whinging all the time, I'm moaning, but I'm not. I'm just trying to be open about like where I am. But I want to be clear. I'm never looking for anything other than to share my experience with you and to hopefully resonate with other people who might be doing the same thing and going through the same thing. You know, when I did my video about my internal monologue and how that treats you sometimes, every single day I see creators, you know, on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok, talking about, you know, some of their own insecurities and things they're going through. And I want people to know that, yeah, I have the same thing. You know, you're not the only person going through this. You're not the only person struggling with this. So that's the reason I make these, is to talk about what I'm going through, to talk about what my grand plans are, and to talk about, you know, what my goals are, and also to talk about when I fail at those things, and how, you know, I plan to make my way through this industry. It's an interesting time for me. Sometimes I'm going to make announcements on here that aren't going to pan out. Sometimes I'm going to say I'm trying to do something that I don't end up doing, and that's okay. And sometimes I'm not going to talk about stuff and it's going to happen in the background and it's going to, you know, it's going to blow up. But I tell you, one of the things that I'm definitely going to be doing over the next year, and that's continuing to create every single day. I'm going to try and be less lazy. I'm going to be more efficient. I'm going to try and make the most of the equipment, the time, the expertise that I've got. Yes, I want to work with more brands. Yes, I want to earn some more money. Yes, I want to create things that feel like they're beyond me and they're out of my reach. But fundamentally, I want to create good stuff every single day. I appreciate you guys coming along for this journey and watching this. So if you're a creator and you're struggling, you think you're not getting enough views, you think you're not having an impact, just have a look at how many people you've reached over the past year. Have a look at the content that you've produced over the past year. There's wins to be taken. Have you reached more people than you thought? Have you been more consistent with your content than you thought? Have you made a video or videos that you're really proud of in terms of your editing skills? Have you written a video script that you thought was really great? It's not all about viewership, it's not all about watch hours, it's not all about subscribers, it's not all about followers. Those are all indicators, those are all metrics, vanity metrics about where your trajectory is as a creator, but they do not give an indication of whether you're proud of the work you do, whether you're happy in the work that you're doing. And if you're a content creator and you're not happy, and you've got a problem, because what you've got there is a fucking job. You've just got a 9-to-5 job. You are no different to anybody else in the world who is doing a job that they hate. Remember why you started doing this stuff. I don't think anyone starts in content creation purely because they think they can make a load of money. I don't think they start it because they feel like they're going to get famous. I feel like they start it because they have a real passion for something and they want to share that with the world. And for some people that results in fame, it results in money, and it results in lots of other things. But for many, it's because they're just passionate about what they want to do. Remember, you are an artist. That is what we all are. We're trying to bring some kind of beauty into the world, and that's why we got started. I hope this video helps you. Looking back helped me, but my aim for now is to be more present, to really focus on the work that I'm doing right now, and to make the most of every single moment that I've got. I appreciate your guys' support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because why not? And if you want to support the content or make a donation to me for the content that I produce, you can go to co-fi.com/charmthegamer. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.